The first time I met you was at the very beginning of my career. I had just started as a writer on Saturday Night Live, and you were the guest host. Do you remember this?
I remember like it was yesterday because I was on an airplane flying from LA to Kentucky to watch the Kentucky Derby, and I'm reading the paper and said, Wayne Gretzky to host Saturday Night Live. And I just pulled down the paper like this and looked at my wife and said, no. She said, yeah, I called Lorne Michaels back and said, this is going to be the greatest week of your life. And as it turned out, I had a great time.
So wait, so she said yes for you. You hadn't agreed to it.
I turned it down.
That's a scary way to find. You had said no, and then you read about it in the paper that you're going to do it.
Well, you know, everybody comes to LA, especially people who want to get in the entertainment business. But athletes come here and they want to be actors sometimes, but I never wanted to act. And I wanted to be a hockey player.
Yeah.
So I thought, gosh, hosting Saturday Night Live. Now, I grew up watching Saturday Night Live like everyone else. I thought, my goodness, that's a lot of hard work. Mike Myers is Canadian and Phil Hartman's from my hometown. And as it turned out, I'm glad I did it.
You were terrific. Yeah, I remember that being one of my, and it was a very funny show. And I remembered it was one of the first times they threw me into a sketch in the background was, I think it was a Rockahula.
Yeah, Lorne called me in the office and said, you got to get this over the hump. You got to do a little bit of acting, because I really was on all these different talk shows, like Anal Retentive and then Wayne's World.
Yeah.
And I remember I was back in the hotel room, and my daughter at the time was 3 months old, and I was trying to learn the song. It was like Waikiki Hockey, and I'm completely tone deaf.
Yeah.
And I was singing to my daughter at that time, was 3 months old, and I probably ruined her childhood over it. But, there I was, and I ended up singing, and
they threw me. I remember that they said they threw me in, and I was so proud. I was so green that I told everyone I'm in a sketch. I think they thought that I had speaking lines. It just turned out that I'm a minor figure in the background playing the drum. I think we have the clip. I think I'm in the background playing the drums.
Oh, no.
Sit down, everybody. I think you'll get your money's worth. Let's rock. Mona like a hickey mean hockey. Mona like a wiki mean love.
Well, listen. The funny part of the scene was they had this like little piece of meat, and I was supposed to sort of hit it, and I hit it right into a garbage can. And I think everybody's shocked that I put it in the garbage can. It was just completely by accident.
Right, but it was and everyone thought like he is the great one.
He's really good.
He can fire meat at will. I remember when you were traded from Edmonton Oilers to the Kings. It was a phenomenon that I can't think of anything comparable in sports. People in Canada lost their minds. Yeah. And there was just an incredible uproar. That must have been a difficult time for you.
Yeah, it was really difficult because, especially being 28 years old, you don't really understand the business side of sports. And I was just a young kid who was playing hockey and loving it and on one of the greatest teams ever. And over the course of 2 or 3 months after winning our 4th championship, it sort of came to me that I was going to be traded, and it came down to 2 or 3 teams. And when I was finally traded to LA and came here to play for the LA Kings, you know, it was hard for especially people in Edmonton because they weren't just fans; they were friends of mine. You know, a lot of the people that go to all the games I knew from all the years of being in Edmonton. So it was difficult for everyone. But you look back at it now, and everything happens for a reason, and we love it here in LA. And you know, the NHL is thriving, and everyone seems to be doing okay.
Yeah, it was treated. I remember people said Canada said we're losing a national treasure. A national treasure is leaving Canada, and they said the same thing about Bieber.